What's up everyone, RMFH here. Now before absolutely anything else, this video is a part 2. Click the card in the corner or the link in the description to see part 1 over on the Gamer Musicians channel. It released at the same time and provides a lot of the context for everything we'll be talking about in this video. So go watch it and then come back. Speaking of the Gamer Musician, welcome over to my channel.
Hey, thanks for having me over.
No worries, do you want to get back into the theory?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so last video we ended off by dropping a huge bombshell that we think that Hyrule could follow the concept of determinism, and that no matter what actions are taken, Hyrule is doomed.
Right. In Twilight Princess, the Arbiter's grounds had 4 floors and 2 basements, whereas in Breath of the Wild, it barely shows the top of a couple small pillars and arches.
The Child and Downfall timelines are the most likely positions for Breath of the Wild's timeline placement, and this can only help our theory.
The adult timeline already features a destroyed Hyrule. Hyrule is completely flooded, and whichever timeline Breath of the Wild takes place in, the rising sand levels may destroy Hyrule.
Cool. Now that we've basically summarized part 1, let's move on to all of the new stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Now one thing I really need to stress is that we don't believe that Hyrule will be destroyed within 100 years of Breath of the Wild. We don't even believe that it will be covered in 1,000 years.
The Sands Rising has taken 10,000 years, plus however long it was between FSA or Zelda 2 and the time in the Legends, to cover this Colosseum that rose 4 monstrous floors above the surface of the sand.
Correct. We do not believe it will be a quick process. However, it appears that at the rate the sand is rising, it will eventually rise so high that it will go beyond the confines and the barriers of the desert. And when this happens, slowly but surely, this sand will eventually engulf all of Hyrule.
This whole concept of determinism isn't even really that new to the Zelda series. The concept has been something ingrained into the series lore ever since the first game.
Spoiler alert for Skyward Sword, but towards the end of the game, Demise creates a curse, a cycle which will be born anew with no end.
To a certain degree, this curse is literally something that embodies determinism. No matter what Link does, Demise's hatred will always come back and attack Hyrule. A similar kind of curse could be affecting the land itself, though Demise will likely have nothing to do with this.
So if this curse exists and causes the destruction of Hyrule, what kind of effects would this cause to the land?
Well, a number of them. Firstly, the citizens of Hyrule would need to find a new place to live, or learn to adapt.
Well yeah, now let's have a look at these 2 options then. Firstly, moving.
Well, I feel like this would be kind of difficult, especially so in the Downfall timeline. From what we've seen in the franchise, we'd have 3 different locations to move to. New Hyrule, Labrina, or Holodrum. And I guess Subrosia, though I kinda consider that part of Holodrum.
Regions such as Termina, Lorule, and the world of the Ocean King are all parallel worlds, so they wouldn't work. The Sacred Realm would be pretty difficult, since they are aiming to keep the Triforce hidden.
True. So, of the 3 other realms, I feel like all of these would be pretty difficult. Holodrum and Labrina, while being suitable for living, are already populated. Fitting not just a few people, but the entirety of Hyrule's population would be very difficult.
Right, but the thing is, New Hyrule was only discovered in the adult timeline, and that was after a fairly long time since the land was flooded, in a world with boats everywhere. In regular unflooded Hyrule, I feel like its discovery would be unlikely.
For the Child timeline, we don't really know how populated Holodrum and Labrina are. However, we believe that it's more than likely a similar situation.
So adaptation then?
Well, perhaps, but this would pose its own problems, namely the ways of adaptation. While it may seem logical to simply ask the Gerudo for help, the Gerudo have only mastered the methods for women to live in their small parts of the desert.
You're right, And let's say the Gerudo have a pretty unique biology in comparison to other races. Large, tall, muscular bodies, and a tan skin shade.
A lot of their techniques, such as fighting and hunting, would generally be inconceivable to a weak, small Hylian. And let's not even think about what it would be like to be a Voe in a Hyrule entirely centered around the Gerudo lifestyle.
While it's unlikely that Nintendo would ever follow through on this desert Hyrule, the actual methods that the Hyruleans would need to take is quite an interesting topic.
So, to summarize these two videos, no matter what Link does in his efforts to save Hyrule, eventually, the land is going to become somewhere completely unlivable. Whether it becomes a barren wasteland engulfed in desert, or completely flooded.
Well, anyway, that's the end of the video. Hope you all enjoyed it.
And in case you happen to miss it, and watch this entire video without it, 1, thank you for your dedication to theories without context, and 2, go over to my channel and watch part 1.
Definitely.
Oh, and thank you for having me over on your channel. It was a load of fun.
No worries, it was a lot of fun. And to all of you left, leave a like, comment your thoughts on Hyrule's determinist fate, and of course, subscribe for more Zelda content coming soon.